Welcome, Bim. I will say for good morning on here on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. It's an excellent morning. I want to say a big welcome to you on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. It's another big edition, a lot to talk about, a lot to delve into, a lot to dissect as on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Of course, let me start by saying congratulations to all of you and Ron Ajumu. We need a 5 odd. I think it was 4 to 5 odd. And then we put it together, of course, because of the international breaks. There have not been games, but then a lot of you sending me messages on Twitter and on Facebook say you wanted some matches for Wednesday and yesterday. I put together 4 to 5 odd and then that did win. Into congratulations to I think about 500 of you in the chat have bet code. And of course, congratulations to all of you. Don't tell me that you didn't see. I've told you. Just subscribe. Follow Fiifi-Manfred on all the social media handles. Go see on them on Facebook, on Twitter. Turn on notifications every time there is a betting code. I put it up. I put it up there. Send a no chat, no DB. Congratulations to all of them. Of course, in area we have a lot to unpack for you in terms of analysis of what's on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. Is on subscribe. Turn your notifications on. Turn it on and make sure. So in the notification turn and Uber choose all. Send anytime your content to be available, you are first to have it. And then this is going to be the first, of course, first edition for like we do 3 to 4 videos every day, back to back. Consistency is the name of the game, but in all of that back to back and consistency, we give you the best in terms of the analysis. So to enjoy analysis, no when you're consistently, no I enjoy when you're consistently. On Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube, your friend room. Big question Uncle Fobi. Hey, that story about Christopher Nkunku. Say no say Manchester United and now some Manchester United and I say Christopher Nkunku will be free Chelsea and I so free Chelsea. For a lot of you, even in the now updates I made to one, a lot of the messages that did come through, people were not happy. So branch here friend Christopher Nkunku may leave Chelsea to go to team my friend Manchester United. So I am going to in this analysis delve into why Nkunku may leave Manchester United or may leave Chelsea Football Club, and then tell you how it may not also happen. Then we just oppose the two and we conclude together at the end of the analysis. Into stick and stay. I was on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. And of course, there is news for you. Real Madrid fans, there is a lot of conversation for you. I was on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. It is stick and stay. And come baby, your analysis. Where do we start from? I'm always confused anytime I have to do this. What do you need? Let us go to Spain. Let's start with FC Real Madrid. Big problems for them still. Team in the quest to find center back cover for Motiv, and of course Eda Militao, of course Oriani Chimeni, of course the likes of Danny Kawaya Munyepra, and they don't have that cover. In the last few games, Abrante friend Frank Garcia has been used to play Vasquez Suepra. Ono a cover to Cavallero Suepra. Frank Garcia did come in and to play at that side for Abrante. Your friend Lucas Vasquez and the Carlo Ancelotti, but and now in the La Roa for camp, the Spain national team camp, the Spanish center back, Abrante friend Aremek Laporte. Now, some Madrid are looking for some soft loans options to be somewhere in January. Bit for players to be a free baby, but somewhere in Saudi Arabia, somewhere in the lower leagues. These players, as so what they call it, they may bring them in. Now, there have been 2 names. Away from the regular names, Yatete from Abrante friend Jonathan Tan, from Abrante friend Lekibamo, who are probably going to be long-term targets. The fact that Madrid may not be able to get Lekiba in January, they may not be able to get Gelson Bremer in January, they may not be able to get Abrante friend Jonathan Tan in January. They are looking for other options. And funny enough, and then Kurakata Masa reported Abrante, your friend Sergio Ramos has offered himself to FC Real Madrid. Sergio Ramos, Akache Madrid for he is willing. So Madrid for no, he is willing to come and play for FC Real Madrid. Because he wants to come back to them, of course. But by way of some good news from Real Madrid for goalkeeper Thibaut Courtois, back to playing football in a game against Leganes. Thibaut Courtois returning. Belgium for CEO and now CEO my friend Mark Henkin. It to kind echo Madrid to go and meet our branch friend Thibaut Courtois. Now, you know the story of Thibaut Courtois and your current coach of Belgium. Now, Wakam said Domenico Tedesco, the manager of Belgium there, he is not going to play for the Red Devils of Belgium. And this is because Domenico Tedesco AJ captain Sinifri or no same no deputy captain, even when Kevin De Bruyne was away, and all the come Abrantia friend Romelu Lukaku. We all know the story behind Abrantia, your friend Thibaut Courtois, any Abrantia friend Romelu Lukaku, or any Abrantia friend Kevin De Bruyne. All of the issues that is behind these boys, no saying affected these boys, affect you. Now, Belgium football CEO record them to try and convince Abrantia friend Thibaut Courtois say he should join the camp. No more because they're the best goalkeeper in the world. But believe so bit my bomb and it's man. But of course, Thibaut Courtois, I say no. He will not go back and play under Domenico Tedesco. Courtois said, "Enyade on Domenico Tedesco. As long as Tedesco is the manager for the Red Devils of Belgium, then he is not going to play for them at all." Of course, and now DJ Deschamps was asked about Kylian Mbappe on a pre-match press conference. Now, DJ Deschamps, said, Mbappe, how far with him? And I'll say there are 23 other players. Leave Mbappe alone. Just focus on the other players who are here, who play for us as well. A very, very important. Say focus on of course, beside same baby about Abrantia friend Vinicius Jr. Also, when he has gone to the Brazilian camp, Dorival Jr. or the coach of team, your friend Brazil, the Seleção of Brazil, and this is what he said about Abrantia friend Vinicius Jr. I'll say, in my opinion, the Ballon d'Or was an injustice. It should have gone to Vinicius Jr. That's the coach of team, my friend Brazil. Odin Komo about Vinicius Jr. Elusu, the Ballon d'Or. He is not excited about it. These are the news around the world. Here we more, of course. Vinicius Jr. again from coach friend Dorival Jr. Dorival Jr. said if there was a decisive and lethal athlete whose talent was clear, it was Vinny. I have nothing against the winner. He stood out a lot, but Vinny deserved a special recognition. And I think I agree with Dorival Jr. And I said, again, the greatest award that Vinicius Jr. received is a recognition of respect of his people. The vast majority of the Brazilian people realized the injustice that occurred with the Ballon d'Or. And then, of course, he did not win it. But then wait to see how all of that goes in there. Of course, in the quest for Madrid to replace some players. And now, Abrantia, your friend, Davide Alaba returned to full team training, and now our Madrid for training grounds. So Abrantia friend Davide Alaba did return to training, our Madrid for team training, and he is closer to making a full-time return to our team. Yes, by looks as his Abrantia friend Alaba is returning fully. I hope that doesn't put pressure on the Real Madrid for medical team to push Abrantia friend Alaba to return quicker and then get him to play for the Los Blancos of Real Madrid. There's a young player, 22 years of age, I friend Loren Aguado, and he's a player Madrid for from the academy. Castilla no oba bege Jumana Abrantia friend Dani Cavala as a right fullback for the team Madrid. Loren Aguado, 22 years of age, so replace Abrantia friend Lucas Vasquez. Now Dani Cavala Jumana they think say very, very important. Now while our French football for in camp, na DJ Deschamps answer questions about Kylian Mbappe. Na Mbappe goal captain in somewhere in Spain on your branch friend Eden Hazard, and Mbappe goal captain with Eden Hazard at Carlos Sainz captain. And over there, no fraternizing. I mean, it's an issue of media issue. And Mbappe goal captain on your branch friend Eden Hazard, and I know Germany. Of course, David Alaba could be ready in December. Yes. In the final stretch of his recovery, good news for Ancelotti, according to Massa and Anopen. Of course, Abrantia friend Laporte, I say, if Madrid comes calling, you don't say no to them. So in as much as he is in Saudi Arabia and loves to play in Saudi Arabia, he as Laporte would probably want to turn his eye and go to FC Real Madrid and then go and play some football for them if they call him. I mean, he said this he was smiling and joking, but then again, you could tell, say he's serious, and it was El Lugero that reported is from Spain. El Lugero and a reporter from Spain. I think that those are the major issues that's going on at Real Madrid, and of course, a lot of the teams are traveling to go and play international football today. But then we'll have a lot of conversations on here on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. I think that's the big one. Spain, I'm in Egypt. First of all, how Barca for any Spain are managing Lamine Yamal. I didn't hear clear. Barca for one realizes that they made some mistakes with Pablo Gavi, any Abrantia friend, Pedri Gonzalez. Now, when they started, these boys were excellent. They were playing consistently for the Blaugrana of Barcelona, and of course, also for the La Roya of Spain, and consistently normal Bobono as young players who have not played at the highest level before. The accumulated fatigue kept on accumulating. The fatigue kept on accumulating, and they kept on having certain issues in the muscle area. Now you can never overload overload muscles. Now consistently, if you play football consistently, 90 minutes, 120 minutes, going to play in the Olympics, going to play in the Euros, going to play for clubs in your club side, definitely it's going to take a toll on you at certain parts of the season. And if you listen to De La Fuente, who is the manager of Spain, exactly what he's saying this morning is the fact that they have learned a lot from Gavi issue, and then the issue of Abrante and Pedri. Now listen to him. Or see, Lamine has to rest. Lamine has everything to be a legend. We don't have to rest him. We don't have to rush him. He can go on and play consistently when he returns. And that is what the Spanish national team are trying to do with Abrantia, your friend Lamine Yamal. Obviously, most of the Spanish boys, most of the Barcelona boys have been called by team your friend La Roya, and it is because they are doing well under Hansi Flick. And some of them have been speaking. First one, and Abrantia friend Danny Olmo said, the way Flick explains things, this message gets through 100%, and the squad understands it perfectly. Everything is going well, and we are all united. Of course, boys like Marc Casado has been called to the Spanish national team. So over there, very, very important player, and he has spoken certain things. And so with Marc Casado, you understand the importance of a DM. I say, Juma as a midfielder, and he said he has to make the team play. So no control Fiifi-Manfred. Definitely the team will be able to play in terms of, and only a Juma away will Fiifi-Manfred to make the team play. And then they are Brent friend Marc Casado, and he's excited. So my friend for the Rahua team for the very first time in a long time. Of course, Hansi Flick were in a very, very good time. Barca players now were off the and they seem to be very, very excited. Say Hansi Flick, your manager. The only problem at FC Barcelona is the contract extension of Frankie de Jong. Barca Forum, they believe strongly in them. Say maybe Frankie de Jong may not extend that contract that they so want him to extend. No, he may not extend it. And the Barca board, the Barca executive, of course, led by Deco, seem to be a little bit worried about Abrante Frankie de Jong. He does not want to renew his contract and plans to leave the club on a free transfer in 2026. Of course, the conversations will start again. It is La Vanguardia, the Vanguard, that reported this from FC Barcelona. Do you ever think when Frankie de Jong acquired that national team camp, and he has had very good conversations with himself and of course with the people about the injuries and any affecting in recent times, and he said there were times where he was worried, there were times where he felt maybe he may not return to play football for Team friend of Barcelona, but then he seems to be doing fine. Of course, Deco spoke about Victor Roque, the boy that they bought from Brazil, and Shedanko through them. He said he came in general only because the coach Xavi asked for his arrival after Gavi's injury. Victor Roque cost 30 million, not the 60 million that people say, because non-variables have been met, as he hasn't won titles with us nor reached specific percentage of games. It's only 30 million. Of course, I'm thinking the Barca was smart with that, knowing that the boy has not won any title. The fact that they may pay more, they asked Xavi not particularly play him as much. Because since I've known Barca, I can't remember such an ugly attack on a young player that came from abroad like Victor Roque. I don't know whether it is internal or external. It was an attack on me or on the club, but I can't remember such a personal attack. There was malice. It hurt me a lot to see him in that situation. It's none of his fault. He suffered a lot, but I'm happy that he's enjoying and scoring goals at Betis. Barca and she some wingers in the transfer market, and yet today, Rafael Leao, Abrantia, your friend Nico Williams are still on the radar of Tima, your friend of FC Barcelona. Now, let us go into it to Chelsea. And in the big one, when you Shimiali Grimel or Hornum, of course, the other things that we could talk about. But you remove our Chelsea. First of all, the news that Christopher Nkunku may leave Chelsea holds water. They are very, very realistic. Now, let me backtrack you a little bit. Chelsea took Christopher Nkunku from RB Leipzig in the German Bundesliga. In fact, in the last season before Robert Lewandowski be free German Bundesliga, and Nkunku was there. The last season they both played together. Nkunku paid Robert Lewandowski to the German Golden Boot Award while playing for team friend RB Leipzig. Now, Nkunku from the PSG Academy. Now, when he couldn't break into the Paris Saint-Germain team, he was sold to the RB franchise, went to play several times, and Leipzig really did hit on for him. He's a lethal goal scorer. Now, consistently, Adiabako M1 Nkunku in the last few years is that he was supposed to move even higher in terms of the quality of how he plays, the kind of football that he plays, and all of those things. He's supposed to go even to a notch or two higher. Now, the thing is that if you look at Christopher Nkunku, on your regular name for an out-and-out striker, now, not just about the physicality, consistently, different skill sets, certain specific skill sets in your center forward. One, will be your aerial ability, which may renew according to duels like that. Will be a little bit combative, kakra, so if the person has to drop deeper and come and hold up player, will be my edge man. Will be again, or what the final touch is the finishing. Now, Nkunku is excellent at finishing. Only a few people are as good as Nkunku in the box. Saying for one in twats, he's one of the best anywhere that you get in the world. Now, because Chelsea born on build up play and perfect. Sometimes the teams are more aggressive, more press Chelsea. They are able to find certain success in certain zones in team. What Nicholas Jackson does is that he provides Chelsea an outlet or a different option to playing short and playing out from the back. Because one say the teams are born if they want to take their time and play out from the back. But sometimes it's Arsenal or pressing very aggressive in certain moments. With me, Jai Malo goes to in certain zones and says, okay, fine, you press central more. Now, you make sure the ball could do Caicedo and Lavia and change, sending back to us with transit. Now, in such a situation, when attention about Caicedo and Lavia, now cover shadow Kopama. What Nicholas Jackson gives you is that he hold that play, he is able to pull the center back out into the central areas, control the ball, drop his shoulder, he's gone. Then in this state, he moves the whole team from build-up phase to an attacking phase or a progression phase in that regard. Now, that is where there is a little issue with Christopher Nkunku, because Christopher is not he's your second striker. He's more like a 10. He is a half-space player. That's the word. Christopher is more of a half-space attacker. Left half space, right half space. And because he can play in the half spaces, he gets into the box and gets you goals because of a very good finishing. Ideally, if there was no Cole Palmer, or ideally, Chelsea wanted to get to the point where they use the ball to defend. Now, let me say this as well. In football, there are times where you use the ball to defend. There are times where you defend in a structure, like without the ball. Your defense with the ball, the defense without the ball. Now, when I say use the ball to defend, I mean the volume at which you have the ball, the time with which you have the ball, consistently, how long do you have the ball? Man City defend more with the ball. They hardly lose the ball. Now, when they lose the ball, they spring into fight or flight mode with a lot of counter press, an aggressive counter press. Counter press you quickly, win the ball, and then they turn over possession from you again. So essentially, consistently, they have the ball, they defend with the ball. Now, Chelsea are not at the point where they're able to defend with the ball perfectly. Now, defending with the ball comes with a lot of risks. If you remember, Jose Mourinho consistently will say to teams that for him, the more you have the ball, the more susceptible you are to mistakes. So who keep the ball there? He can win the ball if you set traps for you, turn it over, and you're in trouble. Now, Pep Guardiola says that fine, we will have the ball, but we'll also be aggressive, knowing that you can make mistakes. Once we do, we have to win it there and then. We have to win it back. And that's more front-footed. And Chelsea are not doing that. Chelsea into the level where they defend excellently with the ball. No, Chelsea defend in certain parts. There are times when they lose the ball, they want to counter press. But once that doesn't work, they don't overcommit. They come back into a hybrid mid-block. Just come and sit in the mid-block, 4-4-2 sometimes, and block passing lanes sometimes. Sometimes they also exert pressure when the ball goes into certain areas, which is very, very important. But the issue, however, is this style of play, or where Chelsea are in their progress, demand certain kind of profiles. And that's why Nkunku, even in the game against Arsenal at the 80th minute, yes, from the attacking point of view, you want Nkunku to come and get a goal. But you're still thinking of the fact that Arsenal are still pressing aggressive. They're still being very resolute in that regard. Does Nkunku thrive in such a situation? Then once a coach will begin to think about, say, okay, then later I will Brent friend Nkunku, then the 88 minutes Nkunku comes in. So obviously, in almost anything, Nkunku will start. Because remember how goals or a half space top guy can control the ball in tight situations, can manipulate the ball better. And of course, the final pass is on your back. Whilst doing all of that, when he gets into the box, he will score the goal. So that's the kind of guy Christopher Nkunku is. And then he is at a team where Oba and so injuries can be hard. Oba be prior after the preseason game or recover after Nkunku Asamba be prior after World Cup more coin or Sansuku prior after affects. And yes, this season he's doing well. And that's the little thing with our branch friend Christopher Nkunku. I think the social media said Nkunku. We're quite to play a bit song he mean. A song he mean at certain point in time, Harry Kane when you can play him as a second striker like a 10. Between your goals now. But even when Harry Kane coin, Ange Postecoglou tried to play him as an out and out centre forward. It didn't work. They tried to play him with Richarlison as centre forward. Richarlison is more of a winger. Tried to play centre forward. It didn't particularly work. Now they have to go and bring Dominique Solanke, who is an out and out centre forward. That gives them the hold up play. That gives them the outlet in aerial duels. That gives them a lot of things. Send Yebeya. Now Son Heung-min can run off him. Because that's who Nkunku is. Running off the centre forward. Yeah, centre forward we take the ball from you, attack the spaces behind you. That's the kind of player that he is. And Chelsea just aren't there at the point where in their structure, their development, they'll get the best out of our bench friend Christopher Nkunku. So that's why he's playing a lot of games like in the Conference League matches are over there. It doesn't demand too much without the ball. It doesn't demand too much he holding up the play because most of these teams will sit back. If he sits back, then when he comes into the half space, he can affect the game. If he runs in behind, he can affect the game. And then when he gets into the box, of course, he'll get goals also from there. That suits him at this point in time than where Chelsea are. And I think that the Chelsea team will get better. I don't think say outright and cast in stone. And see, when I read that report from Fabrice Hawkins that our branch friend Christopher Nkunku is going to lead Chelsea and go to Manchester United, it was funny because a fan baby and a creffa baby and then a now. What I'm saying is that Nkunku would have been told by now by Enzo Maresca, baby or Osha, born as a team never could do. Now he would tell him and let him know the point where he Nkunku will be very, very integral to how Maresca's team plays. You will let him understand because at this point in time you are not. But at this point, at the other point in time, we need something else. It's just like Chelsea fans saying that Chelsea should buy Victor Osimhen to be the box. In big games like against Arsenal and stuff like that, you need somebody that has the box presence, the aerial duel winner that can go into like Victor Osimhen. Like even Samuel Maradona, that a lot of you Chelsea fans chastised because his name wasn't nice. And these are the guys that will stay in the box, very physical, very aggressive, get onto the end of box, which is very, very important. Now let me read this thing to you. Chelsea squad depth is a lot. 3-4-3 easily. Chelsea best wingers are Palmer, Nkunku, and Sancho. Neto can play as a left wing back. Goes to James as the right. Marco Correa left centre back who can jump to make a press and also capable of defending wide spaces. The same for Wesley Fofana. I think Maresca is too fixed on having his wingers wide and also serving as outlets in counter attacks. But at the moment, our number of 8 spaces is a mess. Gusto occupies 1 and then Palmer occupying the following as well. Palmer and Nkunku can play as inside wingers and then very close to Nicholas Jackson with minimal defensive duties. A bit like Alonso accommodating Fritz Hoffmann to Leverkusen. Strasbourg also play like that. I hope Maresca ties that one. I think that this is also a very, very good point to note here. So also the best app for Christopher Nkunku. You play in a 3-4-3. You play in a back 3 like center back number 11 then Nkunku on the left Correa on the left hand side. You have Wesley Fofana as the right hand side as the RCB. Now these two center backs they can jump and then go and exert pressure when Chelsea have to. Now the wing backs obviously on the right hand side can be Malo Gusto or Rhys James. Then on the left wing back you can have a bit Pedro Neto playing there. Then centrally obviously you can have a bit Lavia, Moise Caicedo in there. Then the 2 inside wingers or the inside 10s, you can have Cole Palmer, can have a bench friend Christopher Nkunku, very close to Nicholas Jackson. That also helps. But then still, it is going to be a more passive press. How this structure will change into a more aggressive counter press and press because you want to make sure that you are playing on the front foot is the big deal. And one of the things that's important that he also did see is the fact that you look at how Chelsea play, how it looks as if say. One thing I've also realized, and I agree largely, Enzo Maresca seems to be very, very fixated on the wingers when we stay wide. I said, and until up to now, you consistently see that Noni Madueke will play. He will not play Nkunku outright. He will consistently play Noni Madueke out because or person here outlets in turnovers, in counter attacks. And a two, or person the wingers is so equipped the way to stretch the team. And it's like Pep 2.0, Pep starting a Jumano. This is some of the principles. Of course, the squad metamorphosis. I mean, yes, it goes into certain level of metamorphosis and it changes and mutations as the season goes on. And that's something that can go on. But of course, this is the reason a lot of journalists consistently, like I said, Nkunku free Chelsea or Manchester United because of course Manchester United manager or wingers inside or inside things they use Super Nkunku like Son over like I did see over there, and that's the reason why people are saying say Christopher Nkunku may go to Manchester United. I mean, for me, I won't be shocked. Maybe I'm not Manchester United, but I won't be shocked say Nkunku maybe by next summer. I can say because when playing time, because Nkunku wants to play. Or he's staying fit. He wants to play for the French national team. And then for one Kasana. But then again, I don't think that the squad is there just yet. Just yet. The squad is not at that point just yet. And I think that with time, our branch friend Christopher Nkunku may go on and then play in that position for Tima, your friend Chelsea Football Club, which is very, very important over there. Of course, and now who scored who? And then Nyama be out of the quality of our branch here, your friend Estavao William. Almost in the strength, the key passes, the dribbling, the finishing, and then the long shot. According to whoscored.com, Abrante Fernandez William has no known weakness as it stands now. Wow, that's impressive for a young player. I think that physicality in ABR, the known dual, the known weakness of Abrante Fernandez William. But then again, a quality stuff from Estavao William, a quality stuff from him and where he wants to go as a player. Definitely. He has a lot more to give Arsenal have been trying to tie down Leandro Trossard down to a new long-term deal at a football club. Sources have told the insider yet to say this week after said Edu, every team my friend Arsenal board for are going to see the Krionke family to go and discuss the way forward and who is sitting as the next sporting director of SC Arsenal Football Club. Of course, Martin Odegaard will not play for Norway in the international break, like they said. Of course, Sisiano free injury, only the injury issues. Your friend Martin Odegaard is not going to play for Tima, your friend Arsenal as it stands now. Salzburg likely to stick with a twist with Pep Langdes. Mohamed Salah spoke about a lot of things in an interview with Premier League TV. Spoke about the fact that Ono as a player, he got his best advice from coach and friend Arsene Wenger. And Arsene Wenger and he said, as a player, you need to consistently be focused in the game. And you want to be in free match, so be focused in the match. So focus your match, so yes, you may not be through in the game all through and through, but there will be times where the ball will fall to you and then you make the difference. I hate the idea that we are underdogs now, but still we have to go on and then get the job. The Liverpool for centre back friend Jair Konsa, he has been called after Sir Brent friend Levi Cole no pulled out of it. Of course, Martin Zubimendi has been targeted by the likes of Arsenal and Liverpool so far and has resisted a chance to depart the Basque side. However, the admiration still continues. Of course, that's what my branch friend David Austin. Already during an interview with El Patascope was asked who the toughest player he had come up in the English Premier League. I said Lionel Messi before, and now Mohamed Salah, especially at Anfield, where he's like a knife, he will cut through you over. And you're talking about the directions of our branch friend Mohamed Salah when he plays at Anfield. Of course, Liverpool for a good injury boost. My branch friend Alisson Becker back in training for them in the gym. Very, very important player on at Liverpool. Of course, this is where it looks as if we will draw a lot of curtains on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube, and we are running through all the stories they make rounds across the globe. Speaking about everything, and of course, the main one, why a bunch of friend Christopher Nkunku may leave Chelsea. Of course, later in the day, we'll bring you some more, and obviously in the evening, another update comes through. Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Won't subscribe to the channel now. Subscribe, turn on notification turn in. Do choose all. I will see you until then. Take care. Bye bye.